Hello friends, Koolio here, and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we are checking out the official launch for the brand new mobile MMORPG kind of slash gacha game, GRAN SAGA. Now if you guys are enjoying today's video, want to see more videos like this, then make sure to like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, today's video is actually going to be a little bit different than my usual kind of first impressions video, because in a lot of my first impressions video, I like to spend a couple of hours playing the game and then kind of going through and breaking down like all the different, details and features that the game has to offer. However, with this one, it's just going to be a basic jump in, show you guys some of the gameplay, give you guys some of my initial thoughts of like my first hour or so in the game, rather than like a deep dive into all the different like game mechanics and stuff like that. Now, the main reason why that is I've kind of decided to try to stay away from games that I don't understand the language, mainly because it can lead to me giving you guys false information about those games because I just don't understand Korean or Japanese or whatever. So I've kind of stayed away from those types of games, and so for this video I'm just going to talk about my initial impressions so far of the game and try to stay away from some of the more minute details when it comes to the actual gameplay mechanics. Now, if you guys are interested in actually jumping in and playing this game, I will have a link down below where you guys can go and download it. However, I do want to let you know that you do need to have a really good Korean VPN in order to jump in and play this game. Now, you'll need it for like the initial login and update when you first get into the game. But once you're like actually in, you're playing and you're moving your characters around, you no longer need a VPN. You can go ahead and disconnect and just kind of jump around and start playing. Now, I am going to say something that is probably going to be kind of controversial, because I know this is a game that a lot of people are looking forward to, but I wasn't super excited to find out that this is a very heavy autoplay MMO. Now, that may be something that changes down the line as you encounter raids or bosses or dungeons or more open world stuff, but my initial 1 hour of gameplay so far, I've basically only touched one section of my screen. In fact, this entire time I've been talking to you, I've basically touched the screen like 3 times. And it's because it is a very heavy autoplay MMO kind of starting off. And so if you're not a big fan of autoplay MMOs, you're probably not going to like this game, because it does follow a lot of those different types of tropes and stuff. Now, I will say though, the game does look really, really good. I would say it's up there with Genshin Impact. I do think Genshin Impact runs a little bit better on mobile devices. This one, to me, kind of feels like it makes my phone really, really hot, and sometimes I have kind of a lot of frame dips here and there, but I do think the game runs fairly good, and it looks really great. Like, for a mobile MMO, this is probably the best looking autoplay MMO that I've played on my phone. Like, this game looks really, really good. Now, there are gacha mechanics in this game, but it's probably not what you're expecting. The gacha mechanics in this game, as far as I've been able to tell, is an equipment system. So if you actually go to the settings, go to your equipment, each of the characters in the game, I believe there's a total of like 6 characters that you can unlock and kind of equip and move around. Each of the characters have these different cards or spirits. I don't know exactly what they're called. Like I said, I don't speak Korean, so forgive me. But you have these cards, these equipment, these weapons that you can equip onto your character, and they each have their own different looks, personalities, and skills and stuff. So I do like that. And that's where the gacha system kind of comes into play, is almost all the equipment and things that you're going to get, I think, come from the gacha system. At least that's what all the equipment that I've gotten for the characters I have. Now, I've got a total of 3 characters on my team right now, but like I said, there are other characters you'll be able to add to your team. I don't know if there's more than the initial 6, but when you first jump into the game, you're able to pick a total of 3 of them, add them to your main team, and then run around and play as those 3. So I have my main one. I picked the female character because I think she looks great. But if I wanted to, I can go ahead and swap over to one of the other characters. The one that kind of looks like Sephiroth. I think that's the character's name from Final Fantasy XIV. But yeah, I think the characters look pretty cool. And there's a lot of story in this game. And I think the story is going to be a really big part to play. But because I don't understand Korean, I can't really give my opinion on the story. But they don't have, like, when you first start off, there's lots and lots of cutscenes that you can't skip. You do have to actually watch the cutscenes. They do give you rewards afterwards, but it's all in Korean. I don't know what's going on, but they look great. Like, I will say, like, the cutscenes do look really high polished, look really well. And for a game that's been super hyped, I think, like, the servers and stuff have been pretty good. Like, when I first jumped into the game, there was, like, a 3,000, like, wait line to get into the game, like, 3,000 people ahead of me. And I got in within like a couple of minutes. And so I think they're doing a pretty good job so far of like their initial launch. Like, the gameplay itself, even though it's auto, looks good. The game looks good. It's running fairly decently. Like I said, there's a couple of frame drops here and there. And there's been some heat issues with my phone, but not super, super bad. But there really isn't a whole lot of other things that I can really go into detail with this game because I don't understand Korean. And for the fact that it's such a heavy play auto MMO as of right now, I'm not super heavily invested. I think if I knew Korean and I could actually understand what the characters were saying, I'd probably be a little bit more invested in the story and in the world and stuff. So for Korean players, this will probably be a really popular game. We don't know when it's going to come out globally, but at least it is available for people outside of Korea to play with that initial VPN login to jump into the game for the first time. Now, there really isn't a whole lot of other stuff that I can really talk about this game, but I do want to get your guys' opinion on it. If you guys are jumping in and playing the game, are you guys having fun? Are you enjoying it? Would you guys like me to play, you know, maybe another 4 or 5 hours of the game? Really try to do a translation guide or a deep dive into the game to give you guys a little bit more heads up with the mechanics and the gameplay features. Let me know down below. But for this video, this was just a basic me jumping in, checking out the game for the first time, giving you guys some of my initial first impressions, showing you guys some of the gameplay, getting you guys' thoughts back on it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, again, make sure to leave a like button and subscribe to the channel, and then let me know down below your guys' thoughts on this game. Is this a game you guys want to see a little bit more of an in-depth gameplay video later down the line? So guys, thanks so much for watching. My name's Koolio, and I'll see you next time.